Welcome, Jackson County Circuit Court. Today we're telling you everything you need to know about this important state court in Independence, Missouri. I'm Matt Hamilton. I'm an injury, death, and trial attorney from the area, and I regularly practice in this court. There are a few things you're going to want to know. First, it is somewhat difficult to get to. It's at 308 West Kansas Street in Independence, Missouri. You're going to want to key into your phone or your GPS on how to get there. It is just southwest of the Independence downtown square. It's a long, kind of a yellow brick building, somewhat difficult to get to. Practice ahead of time, think ahead of time on getting there. Parking is easy for Jackson County Circuit Court. You've got two options. Parallel park on the street. There are several streets right next to it. These often fill up fairly quickly, but that's the closest way. Also, there is a huge parking lot on the southeast side of the building. It's free. There's always parking spots available. Go ahead and park there and walk in. Leave your cell phone in your car. Leave your laptops in your car. There's a security checkpoint there. You're going to go through a metal detector, so obviously no knives, no guns, nothing silly like that. But lots of people like to take their phones and play around on them. You're not going to be able to do that in circuit court. It's there for business, okay? After you go through the metal detectors on the first floor, you're probably going to be taking a left. There are lots of different courts in this building. It's a 3-story building plus a basement. Now, if you've got a traffic ticket with Judge Jeff Busher, you're going to be going down to the basement. If it's Jackson County Municipal Court, you're going to be taking a left going all the way down the hallway. If you're like many people and you've got a serious injury case or a death case or some sort of other civil matter, you're going to be in one of the circuit courtrooms. Also, if you have a felony case, you're going to be in one of the circuit courtrooms. These are on the first, second, and third building. It's done by division. There are signs on the wall for which division you need to go to. Plan on arriving at least 15 minutes early so that you don't get lost. You are there for two reasons. You either want to avoid something that you don't like or that you want something. Those two decisions are going to be made by a judge. The last thing you want to do to the decision maker is put them off by being late to your own court date. Don't do that. Plan ahead. Think ahead. Along that same line, dress appropriately. Circuit court has certain requirements. No shorts, people. Guys, if you're just getting off work and you have a laboring job, you're going to make sure that you're not dirty, covered in grime. I see that a lot. The judge is not impressed that you just came from work and you had a hard day. He's not impressed that you have a job. What will impress them is if you take along a clean shirt, change into it before you get there. Showing them a little bit of respect will show them a little bit of deference. Girls, do not dress promiscuously. Showing a little bit of extra skin in this situation will not help your case. Young people, do not wear pajamas to court. Do not wear things to court that you could wear to your bed. Get actually dressed up for this. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people dressing way too casualty, and that's just not going to help your case. Now, continuances and delays work different in circuit court. If you need more time, you may or may not be able to get it in this setting. I know in lots of municipal courts you can just call into the clerk and they'll readily give you a continuance. It doesn't work that way. The clerks don't have the power to give you continuances in circuit court. Only the judge does, and you can't call the judge, you got to personally show up and ask. There are lots of different kinds of cases in this court. Your particular kind of case may not be appropriate for a continuance. Now, if it's a simple traffic ticket or a criminal matter, delay may be built into the system, and asking the judge would be totally appropriate. In other situations, it's simply not going to work. Payments are made on the first floor. There's a clerk. When you first walk in those metal detectors, if you turn to the left, that will be the clerk's office where all payments are made, and that's usually a long line, so you just have to deal with that. Remember, the sooner you get in, the sooner you get out, the less waiting you have to do. Circuit court has its own jail. So you need to be aware if you're facing a criminal charge that incarceration, a conviction, probation, and a fine are all possible. Now, in many municipal courts, they have a limitation of $225 for the maximum amount of fine plus court costs per charge that they can charge. Remember, Jackson County Circuit Court is a state court. It does not have that limitation. The limitations, if you're facing a traffic or a criminal charge, are built into the particular statute. You're going to want to call a private attorney and ask them money-wise what risk you're facing. It could be $500 like for a misdemeanor. It could be $5,000 for a felony. There could be restitution built into your case, which means you have to give money back to some victim, and that can be considerably expensive. If you're an injury victim, or if you had a loved one that died and you have a wrongful death case, you're going to have some court costs involved. Jackson County Circuit Court handles cases all the way up to murder, all the way up to wrongful death. So you're going to need a private attorney for those serious cases. Those are long-term, complex, difficult issues that require a professional. The easiest way to solve those problems is call somebody that regularly practices in that court. If you're dealing with somebody that doesn't have that as their specialty, if you're dealing with somebody that's not in the court, doesn't know the personnel, doesn't know their way around, they're going to be learning how to do their job on your case, and you don't want that. So get somebody that you trust, get somebody that looks reliable, and ask them. Believe me, if it's a case where you don't need an attorney and it's really something you can handle on yourself, that attorney's going to tell you that. Nobody gets rich off handling cases that are too small for an attorney to handle. They get their income from the large cases where an attorney is absolutely essential and is a perfect investment for you to make. That is Jackson County Circuit Court. I hope that's been helpful. If you have further questions, feel free to give us a call or look to my other videos where I'm going to be addressing specific topics within these areas. It's been Law Talk. I'm Matt Hamilton. Thank you for joining me.